Literally, someone yesterday asked me if I got into a fight, like if someone punched me in the head. It's just a pimple, so yeah, that one really helped my self-confidence. Hello everyone, I'm Nathan and welcome to my channel. Also, do you guys love this shirt? I literally found it in my junk room. We were cleaning it out and I guess it was like my grandpa's from the 70s. It's like a weird terry cloth. I just went like that to material and love the colors. The collar is everything. I have like a weird love-hate relationship with the Urban Outfitters renewal section. I love the idea of, you know, recycling old clothes and, you know, making them cool and modern, or, you know, just the idea of not letting those clothes go to a landfill and letting them be loved again. Obviously, the big complaint I have is that it is so overpriced for what you're getting. It's like literally thrifted $5 clothes that are marked up to be like $50 to $100. So yeah, but I just wanted to make this video because I thought it'd be fun, but also to kind of just show that this stuff is really easy to remake and get at the thrift store. So don't feel necessary to spend $50 on a t-shirt. I do want to give some credit to Jenna Phipps. Don't know exactly how to pronounce her name. I'll try to like link her channel, but she did a video like a few years ago, I think. Okay, let's start off with this split flannel thing that I saw a few variations of. There was one that was like the bottom of one shirt flannel thing and then the top of another, you know? And there was another one that was like, it was bleached, half of it. But my favorite was the one that was split right down in the middle with one flannel on the right and one flannel on the left. They seem to range around like $40 to $60. So I'm gonna show you how you can easily recreate one of these. So, okay, the first thing you're gonna need to do is find two flannels at the thrift store, roughly the same size. They don't have to be exact. I tried finding ones that like weren't vintage or were in bad condition. Like this one that I have had like a stain on it. So yeah, I felt better about cutting it up. Flannels obviously most of the time have this tag in the middle. So the first thing we actually have to do is seam rip that off so it's not in our way. Now you just want to take a like piece of chalk or a marker. I use one of these really cool like water soluble markers, so you just use water to like erase it. But I just drew a line directly down the middle of the flannel. Now what you're gonna do is take some scissors. I use these like what are they called? Pinking shears. That's what they are. They're like zigzag scissors to prevent fraying on the fabric. So basically what you're gonna wanna do is go over about a ½ inch from the line. Basically, say that the shirt that I'm cutting right now, I want this to be the left side. So what I'm gonna do is go over to the right side an extra ½ inch for seam allowance, if that makes sense. And then you're gonna wanna do the exact opposite on the other flannel so that when they combined, it's all good and there's room to actually sew it. Okay, now that we have our two pieces, what we're gonna do is line them up as best as we can together down the middle, and then once you have it pretty goodly lined up, just take some pins and pin it together. Once you have it pinned, you can just take it to the sewing machine and sew a chain stitch right on that line, you know, leaving that seam allowance. And I decided just to use like a gray thread just because I felt like there was a nice gray in both of these that it would look nice, you know. Then once you do that, you can just iron down the extra seaming part, and that's literally it. It's so easy. So this is what it's looking like now. I really like how it turned out, actually. The one thing is I do wish I kind of got more oversized flannels slash shirts, but that's literally like my only complaint. Otherwise, I think it turned out great, and this literally cost me like $5 to make, so I thought it was a good deal. Next up, this isn't like a particular thing that I saw on Urban Outfitters, but I noticed that they have a lot of tie-dye. I feel like it's just like really in right now. But I actually had this old Calvin Klein shirt that my brother gave to me just because he spilled coffee all over it and it of course wouldn't come out. So he asked me if I wanted it to do something with it and I said sure. But I didn't know until now what I was gonna do. So I actually thought it would be fun to give it a little tie-dye. At first, I could not decide like what color I wanted to do. I thought maybe doing like yellow because of the yellow Calvin Klein print on the pocket. But then I actually ended up having some brown dye that I had from a leftover project, so I decided to use that. And I was kind of nervous about brown tie-dye. I thought it would just like look kind of bad, but I'm actually kind of happy with how it turned out. So to do this, what you're gonna do is flatten out the shirt, and I recommend putting it on like something like I had it on a lid, make sure that it wouldn't, you know, go over the table. And then what I'm gonna do is like bunch up the shirt into like a little ball thing kind of, and then take some rubber bands and just put them all around that so that it stays together. You could use like a squeeze bottle or like an old sriracha bottle, you know, like just a bottle, I guess, if you have one. I just decided to upcycle this old water bottle that I had. So I just filled it up almost to the top with like warm water, and then I put in about like 2 tablespoons of the brown dye. Then I shook it up, and then I replaced the cap with another one that I poked a hole in. Okay, now what I'm gonna do is just like kind of spray it on, I guess, making sure to leave some blue. And then I'm gonna flip it over, do the same on the back side. Then wait 30 minutes and then come back and take off the rubber bands and see how it looks. I didn't care for mine really the first time. I thought it could use a little bit more of the dye, so I decided just to re-scrunch it up and, you know, do the whole process over again. Yeah, I liked it a lot better the second time. Once the dye was all how I wanted it, I just rinsed the shirt under cold water and then threw it into the washing machine with an old towel. And this is how the shirt turned out. I think it looks really good. I could totally see Urban Outfitters selling something like this. And like the stain is so much better. Like I feel like it's actually like wearable now, unlike before where it's just like obvious. This is the one that I stole from Jenna. It's like these jeans that have like a tapestry fabric at the bottom. And I noticed that Urban did have like black jeans that had this, but they were more like a scarf at the bottom. But I really liked the blue jeans with the more tapestry print one's better. Okay, the first thing you need to do is find an old pair of jeans. Lay out your jeans and sort of measure out how much you want the bottom cuff to be, you know? I decided I wanted mine to be like about 5 inches. I thought that was just a good length. Now once you have it marked, take your pinking shears again and cut 1/2 inch below the line. And then repeat this on the other side. Now it is time to add your tapestry or whatever kind of fabric you want to add. It was really hard to find something at the thrift store that I liked that had like a nice tapestry, you know, kind of like tackiness to it, but was also not like extremely ugly. So then I decided to go to Hobby Lobby and sort of just see what they had. And I was just gonna like kind of give up and choose like a paisley fabric, but then I ended up seeing this like map fabric. Yeah, it just like kind of just clicked, like that sort of like vintage print looking fabric. So I got like 1/2 inch or 1/4 inch of this. I really did not need much at all. Because this fabric is very thin, I decided to fold it over. I probably could have even folded over more, but you know, I just did the one fold over. Now what I'm gonna do is take my, you know, cut off from the jeans and place it on top of the fabric to see how big of a square little thing I needed. And then I added about 1/2 inch of seam allowance around that, and then yet again took my pinking shears and cut that. Now once I had those pieces of fabric cut out, I folded them together, good sides together, and then took it to the sewing machine and did a chain stitch just to have like that cuff loop sort of thing. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take both ends of this and pin them together, good sides together, all the way around the circumference. Is that, you know, the circle-y part? What? I don't know what you call it.
Bitch, you guessed it!
Once you have it all pinned, just take it to the sewing machine and do a chain stitch just all around that area. Of course, leaving seam allowance. I also decided just to add like a little line at the bottom just to kind of give it a nice finished look. And then once I was done with that, I just ironed it and voila. I wonder what that means, I don't know. But this is how they turned out. I honestly don't know how much use I'm gonna get out of these since they're not usually something I would wear, but I just thought it'd be fun to do, so. Let me know how you think they turned out, and yeah, I'm losing my voice, but this is our last thing, thank God. So I noticed that Urban had a lot of jean things, and I saw that they had these like vintage Levi cutoffs, and they were like $50+ I cannot remember exactly. And I decided just to make some cutouts because I've never like owned a pair, and I thought it'd be fun just to do. I've had this video kind of planned for a while, so I actually ended up doing this like a few months ago when it was like hotter outside. But I decided just to record it because I was pretty sure I was gonna be doing this video. So the first thing I did was I laid down these jeans nice and flat. The thing about the Urban ones is they had like a 5-inch inseam, which was like pretty short, so I wasn't sure if I really wanted to go fully there, you know? So I decided to first start out with a 7-inch just to see how that looked. So I just kind of marked down the inseam about 7 inches and then drew a line diagonal, if that makes sense. When you cut jeans, you have to do it at a diagonal or else it is lopsided. Yeah. So once I drew the line, I just cut right on that line and then did the same on the other side. So I just decided to go for it and do the 5-inch inseam thing. So I just followed the same exact steps except for, of course, cut it 2 more inches, you know? And once you have it cut off on both sides, you can just throw them in the dryer and that's it. This is how they turned out. Also, just like the other ones, these are like from the early 2000s, but they have that like vintage look that is nice. I feel more guilty if I were to cut like actual vintage jeans, so when it's just like from the early 2000s, I don't really care. I don't really care for jean shorts, but I do feel like they're a nice staple to have, so I'm glad I did this, and I'm glad I did not spend, you know, $50 on Urban Outfitters to get them. Okay, and that's gonna be it for this video. Let me know what you thought about all this stuff. Also, one more thing, I'm almost at 300 subscribers. I might be there by the time this video comes out. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not psychic. But I just want to say thank you so much to all of you. Love you all. I love making videos. It's really fun. So thank you for supporting me and validating me. Thank you very much, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please like and subscribe, and I hope to see you later. Okay, bye. Yes, happy Halloween. I don't know if I'll make a video before Halloween besides this one.